Good morning, beautiful ones. How are you all doing on this beautiful Saturday morning? The sun is shining in England. I've moved location or location. I've actually, because the light over there where I was before is really, really bad today, and I'm just trying a few new things out. So, if you find the backdrop thing, the piece of Indian sort of material a little bit too distracting, then I will remove it. But just for now, I might stay here, I might not. It just depends, really, doesn't it, guys? Okay, okay. So. In today's review, we're doing a blind review today, and we're going to be reviewing this one, which is the Maybelline Instant Age Erase Multi-Use Concealer in shade 07. Got this from Sainsbury's last week. I've been dying to try it though, guys, and since Susie's video went viral, didn't it? The short she did when she applied this onto her face. I've been dying to try it, so that's what we'll be looking at today. As some of you beautiful ones out there will already know, the blind review is an exclusive procedural process, exclusive to the House of Joseph. It's an invention of mine. However, I'm not particularly proprietorial over it. Do you know what I mean? If someone else on YouTube suddenly starts doing blind reviews, I'm not going to kick up a stink and say that it was me that thought of that first. Do you know what I mean? However, I think people do need to credit other people, though. Does that make sense? If someone does a blind review, it would be quite nice if they said this was a process invented by the House of Joseph. However, I'm not going to get anal about it. But right, okay. Shall I stop waffling? Yeah, I will at some point. So, beautiful ones, a good question would be, what actually is a blind review? Well, a blind review is an invention of mine. I was just a bit bored watching, your bog standard YouTube tutorial or review of someone buying a bottle of foundation, slapping it on their old chops, whilst simultaneously looking at claims and websites and just seeing if they all meet up to the claims the website have made. So what I did is I shook things up a little bit and I turned it on its head. So what we do in blind reviews is I go into the shop with a not a preconceived idea of what I'm going to buy, but say in the morning I wake up and I think today I'm going to review a foundation or a concealer or a blush or an eyeshadow or something like that, or a mascara. I then go into the shop and I buy the item, but I don't look at any of the literature. And then I get the item home, I review it for you beautiful ones. So for this one for example, we'll put this on my face and see how it performs, but I know nothing about it. I don't know how to use it. I don't know what sort of coverage it is. Any of the claims, I know nothing about this at all. And I certainly haven't seen any reviews on YouTube. Only the very short that Susie did is only a minute long, and there's not going to be much information in that, is there? So, and then once I have the item of makeup firmly ensconced on these 50-year-old chopses of mine, and I've made my own opinions or I've come to certain conclusions about it, then we look at the website at the very, very end of the review. So that's basically in a nutshell what a blind review is. And there's a man in this room waffling severely. That man is me. Shall I drag myself away and shall we continue? Let's do that. And how I usually start a blind review is just by describing exactly what I can see in my hand. So I need to put my spectacles on because otherwise I am rather visually impaired or blind. No, I'm not blind. That's naughty. No, I'm not blind at all. So apologies to any people out there who are blind. It's just my glib sense of humour or whatever. Sorry. So in my hand, I can see a plastic tube, I guess you could call it, with a burgundy or a mauve. No, that's definitely burgundy, isn't it? Like a red wine sort of colour collar. And there's a plastic lid on it, and then there's a sponge applicator, and you've got the Maybelline branding on the front, which says Instant Age Rewind Erase Multi-Use Concealer in shade 07. And although I did actually buy this from Sainsbury's, and Sainsbury's in the UK is very, very good for security sealing, as you can see that whopping great security seal on there. They didn't have in fact, they didn't have any testers for this at all. And it was around £8 or £9. I think this was £9 or £10. In fact, I'll double check and I'll put it here and I'll link everything into the description, or description, as I sometimes call it when I'm feeling naughty, and I am in a very naughty mood today. Some of you will be glad to hear, others of you out there will be dreading this. Obviously, guys, because this is a blind review today, and as I've said already, I don't know anything about this. I literally know nothing about this other than it's a concealer. I imagine it's quite glowy, but again, we'll find out when I slap it on my old face. But what I need to do is try to find as many clues as I can as to its performance, action, so on, and claims, basically, just to see if there are any claims on this tube. Or it is a tube, isn't it? A plastic tube? Yeah, definitely. There's not a lot of information on this, though, guys. So what I'll have to do first of all is to pull that one off, which could give me a nervous breakdown because things like that do, because it becomes sticky and gathers up fluff and germs and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I'll start by doing that. Might have to speed this bit up because oh no, hang on, it's coming off quite easily. So, and why don't they invent one of these which isn't still? I mean, look at that. Can you see that there? That's awful to me. I mean, they don't design these things with people with OCD or particularly anal people with about makeup in mind at all. You need to put this in the bin. So just give him a quick wipe with my trusty old J cloth. I'm terrible, aren't I? Oh, teeth don't look so yellow today, do they? Because the lighting over there is really, really, really nasty. I might stay here actually. What do you reckon? Shall I stay here? Okay. Okay, might do that then. So my gorgeous guys, I have now removed the security seal or label thing, sticker basically, it's a sticker, so is a sticker, off the back. And I wanted to try and reveal is that upside down? No, it's the right way up for a change. Wanted to reveal the peel down sticker on the back because there might be a few clues on there. It's certainly got the expiry can, this expires in 6 months time. And it is 6.8 mil, so not a lot of product there, but again, it's only a concealer. Concealers tend to be around 10 to 15 mil inside, so this is pushing it on the smaller side by a 6.8 millage, but doesn't matter, does it? Shall I just sit here doing that all morning? Why not? Try and hypnotise you all, guys. Silly, aren't I? Do you know, guys, the writing is so small on these, I've needed to go and get every single pair of my glasses out. Obviously, I'm not going to wear them all like this. I'm just being a bit silly, aren't I? But just take these ones off, and I'll just leave these ones on. These are my ×3 glasses, or ×4, something like that anyway. But they are my strongest glasses because the writing is just minuscule. I know you probably won't be able to see that, but it is tight. Come on, focus for me. No, it's not. It's not in a very good mood this morning. However, there's just a few directions on the back. It doesn't tell you how to access the product inside, and it doesn't feel like it's particularly soft. You know what I mean? So I don't think you're about to squeeze it up, but we can try, can't we? Okay, let's crack this baby open. To access the obviously highly, highly, highly valuable contents inside this concealer, there's even another security seal. So I don't know whether this stuff has got gold dust in it or diamond dust or something. Who knows? Just Sainsbury's, bless them, being extra cautious. So let's crack this one open. So I assume you just take that one off. The pop's off. Can you see that? Put the lid over there. And this is the product now. And I don't know whether the colour match is any good or not. But again, I didn't have any testers. So I assume do you just jab it or what? I just don't know. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing here, guys. This is the trouble with these blind reviews, is sometimes you just don't have a clue what's going on. Do you know what I mean? Nothing coming out yet, though. You're supposed to... okay. Twist it, please, man. Okay, will do. Twisting. Twist. Can't believe I sat there stabbing it onto the... My hand actually hurt, though, a little bit. It did, because I was stabbing it so far. The rubber arm is a bit damaged now, guys. Won't be making any more cameo appearances. Right, so let's try and get some... And I'm just twisting it around until the product is revealed. Can you see that coming out there? Lovely, gorgeous. Right, so what I got a bit on my finger. What I like to do first of all is to try some on the back of my hand, and then just to see how this one holds up. God, look at how old my hand looks. I need to start putting some, because I obviously don't ever put anything on my hands. I can't stand that greasy sort of feel. Do you know what I mean? However, I'm going to be doing a hand cream tutorial very soon, a DIY formulation. So let's put some of him. Wow, the colour looks quite good, doesn't it? So I'll just put the lid on that one because I'm petrified of this stuff drying out. And I did read on the back that apparently this has got one of those antimicrobial agents in the sponge. So you won't have any fear of bacteria breeding. And that microban stuff, which was all the rage in the 1980s, that plastic which has antimicrobial properties is the word, I guess. So let's just work that one into the rubber arm. And the rubber arm again is exclusive to the House of Joseph, guys. Joking. Right, just essential item here, J-cloth, for wiping beard and for basically just cleaning me up because I'm so clumsy. Stuff does end up all over me literally all the time. So that's him on the back of that hand. And can you see it's really glowy, isn't it? Looks a little bit chalky down here. Sorry, moustache is growing upwards again. What do you reckon? Can you see that reflection? Just need to see whether... Yeah, that's totally dry, totally dry. And can you see that glow it's giving? It's beautiful, isn't it? Just just need to hold it down here to check the colour. Well, the colour looks quite good. Maybe a little bit too orangey, a little bit too peach, but then that would be good for under eye concealing because obviously something which is a little bit more orangey, peachy shade, which sits opposite blue on the colour wheel, will neutralise under eye darkness because the predominant colour of under eye shadows is blue. So to correct those, you want something with a bit of orange, a bit of peach in it. Yeah, okay, okay. So yeah, liking that. No smell at all. I can't smell anything. Not even that foundation-y sort of smell, you know, that one that no one can describe in the whole world. But yeah, it's starting to look a little bit obvious. Mind you, it is a concealer, isn't it? It's not a foundation. And they actually brought out the primer as well to go with this one. Similar sort of much bigger bottle though, and I love that one. What's it called? The 24-hour skin tint or something like that. It's a gorgeous product. But yeah, okay, well. What I'll do now is I'll put a swatch down. Can you see my neck? Should we see if we can cover those up with it? And that's that Fleur Uracell cream, which I'm the anti-cancer cream, which I'm using at the minute. Although I've got a tip for you guys a little bit later on how because this whole area of my skin on that side and that side yesterday was that really, really horrible deep set red. Do you know that really deep red, which is several layers of skin thick? And you know that it's going to be there for at least a week. However, I've invented something which just got rid of it. 3 or 4 applications and the skin's looking well on the way to recovery, isn't it? So, my gorgeous people, should we put a strip of that one just to see what the colour matches? So again, I'll twist up a little bit more. Can you see that one? Is it working? No, it's still not working. I don't know if there'll be enough product. Oh, it's coming through now. Can you see that? There. I like the sponge applicator, I must say. You know, it just makes it so much easier to get it onto those old chopses. Or these old chopses, it should be, shouldn't it? Wow. And I imagine this is one of those really, really light reflective, because it says it's a multi-use concealer, so we're about to use it under eyes, and we'll see if we can cover those red marks from the Fleur Uracell cream too, shall we? Let's do that. Let's have an inspection. Shall I put the spectacles back on? Looking good so far. A little bit too pale, but again, it's going to be for my under eyes. And I wish people would stop putting concealer, which is way, way, way too pale under their eyes. Concealer should be exactly the same colour as your skin, shouldn't it? Really, I mean, let's face it. And that's not my top tip for today. It's one of my tips, though, is to try and get your concealer as near as damn it to your skin tone. On the skin, guys, it does feel very, very slightly moist. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, guys? Do you know what I mean? Not tacky. It just feels that you can tell there's something there. Does that make sense? And obviously the whole of my skin is clean and dry because I've just had a nice bath and I've had a shave. And by the way, my skin is oily combination, and I never prime my skin when I'm testing stuff for you guys out there, because I want you to see what it's like straight out of the factory set, if you like, or factory ready, on a face which has nothing else on it. And then you can always, you know, add it over your foundation or moisturize or something like that. I believe firmly that a lot of these makeup products aren't designed to be used with moisturiser, and that's why they don't live up to their claims most of the time. So what I'll do now, guys, is to remove that piece there with my trusted J cloth. And should we get some under these old eyes? Let's do that. Are you all okay, beautiful ones? Thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you for everything as well. Do you know what I mean? I do appreciate all of your support and all of your love and all of your comments yesterday. They were so sweet, you know, about my painkiller addiction, which I'm a little bit ashamed of. Of course I am. Do you know what I mean? It just basically my entire life, but there was a very good reason for. Sounds like I'm making excuses, doesn't it? And I'm not, but okay. Right, so can you see that there? And what I'll do is shall I just go straight in with it? Let's do that, shall we? In the corner of the eye and here. Get as much of him on as possible. And now you need to go in with your ring finger, because that's the weakest finger on your hand, and you reduce the risk of pulling, and just tap him in. And what I should have done is just let him rest for a half a second or even a minute, you know, just to get a little bit tackier before I start blending, to dry, basically air dry just a little bit. Are we entering Panda Bear territory? I think we're entering Panda Bear territory, aren't we, guys? Wow, totally the wrong shade. Just go and clean my fingers. Totally. Mind you, I did put quite a lot on, didn't I, guys? I did. So I certainly did. So again, just go in with a ring finger and blend him to within an inch of his life. Wow, it just feels really hydrating on the skin. There's none of that, you know, that awful drag So, which would then reduce the risk of damage to the skin around the eyes. So all I'll do now is just to get a point with my J cloth, just clean off that eyebrow. So what do you think to that? I need a close inspection, don't I? Yeah, not really liking this. Looks very, very, very chalky on the skin, doesn't it? No, I suppose this is one of those, like, you know, like Clinique's airbrush concealer. I think it's got it in my eye as well. Clinique's airbrush concealer. That was one of the very first ones, you know, which diffuses light and very, very lightweight, very sheer formulation. But I won't give up on it yet. We're going with a concealer brush. I put some on the back of this hand and then see if we can get the most out of this one. And because this is a silicone-based one, we could even try it wet with a wet brush to see if that makes any difference. Should we try that? Let's do that. I'll go and take a photo of this side, and then I'll come back and we'll try with a concealer brush, shall we? Let's do that. Right, beautiful ones. Here's me looking straight out of the window in natural daylight. And I've only taken 2 photos this time, so sorry. Here's me looking straight out of the window in natural daylight, 'cause before the photo was blocking me, wasn't it? I just don't know. And here's an extreme close-up. Well, not extreme, but a little bit closer up. And it just looks really, really, really mask-like and heavy, and I don't like it at all. But, and there's a but coming, we'll try it with my concealer brush, and I won't put, because I did wallop loads on then, didn't I? Fair enough. However, it doesn't feel very nice on the skin, I've got to admit that, and you know that I would give you the frankest, most honest opinion I possibly can. It still feels really greasy, and I put it on about 10 minutes ago now, so I don't know what dry time is with it. Possibly, it may never dry, do you know what I mean? And I don't know whether it's a hydrating formulation. If it is, then I won't take any marks off per se, because you know, something which is supposed to be hydrating to the skin will feel quite greasy or quite heavy on the skin. Mind you, I suppose now are we getting there, do you reckon? Are we still in Panda Bear territory, or are we moving away from Panda Bear into something a little more resembling a human being? Well, I don't know, guys. I'm not a fan at the minute. I'm not anyway. Let me just clean up that brow. So again, guys, let's twist him up, get a bit more, and I'll put this on. Is that coming through yet? Maybe it's because I can't see it. Yeah, there's loads there again. So we'll wallop him on the back of that hand, put the lid on him. Gone on the floor again. God, I'm so clumsy, aren't I? So this time I'll just gather up some of the product onto my concealer brush. Can you see that? And I'll focus, because there aren't many dark areas on my eyes, considering I only sleep for like 5 minutes each night. Do you know what I mean? But I suppose if you're going to aim to conceal anywhere, and this is my top tip for today, do not slap concealer under your eyes. Don't put it, you know, so it's really, really obvious. Just locate the dark areas and cover the dark areas. That's all you need to do with concealing. Otherwise, you're going to end up looking like a panda. So, right. And my dark areas are in here. So just apply him lightly in there. And this time I'll leave this for 30 seconds or even a minute. And I'll just do some more waffling with you beautiful ones, if that's okay. Why that one dries. And by doing that, it just becomes a little bit thicker, a little bit more dense. Do you know what I mean? A little bit, gives you a little bit more coverage, because the carrying agents are evaporating. But no, I'm not very pleased. Still quite sticky, to be honest. Still really, really greasy, and that's the word, greasy. I just don't like it at all. Has that been possibly coming up to? Just looking at the time, sorry, because I said 30 seconds, didn't I? That should do, I think, guys. So again, go in with your ring finger and just tap him in. I don't like the feel of this stuff at all. It does feel really, really, really greasy. And again, if you're going to be applying this on top of a moisturiser, do you know what I mean? And it's going to just get, the whole thing's going to get really... Oh, wow, hang on. Sorry, hang on there. Rapidly eating words. I'm not too sure now. See, this is one of the brilliant things about these blind reviews, is that I can change my mind literally within a few seconds, and I think that might be happening now. So beautiful ones, this side is just straight out of the pot, using about a gallon of the stuff. This side is using a lot less, but with the concealer brush. concealer brush there. So what do you reckon? I'm quite pleased with that now, actually. I am. Sorry. I'm not apologising for, changing my mind. I just think that looks quite good, doesn't it? It has, what it's doing is, it's because the light should be hitting your skin, and anything which is matte will absorb the light and make it look really chalky and obvious and heavy. You want something which is light reflective, so the light bounces off the skin, gives you the illusion of skin being airbrushed. But yeah, no, I think that's pretty amazing. Okay, right. As I said, rapidly eating words, guzzling them down, wolfing words down, because I've been mistaken and it's happened before. It will happen again. Right. Where's the bloody concealer? Oh, is it over? It was on the floor. So what I'll do now is just have a close inspection. Can you see that side has oxidized very, very slightly, and it's adjusted to my skin tone, whereas this side, my glasses are so dirty. I did wash them before this tutorial, but obviously I'm using greasy fingers and I'm touching them all the time and waffling quite severely as well now, aren't I? Shall I stop? Okay, I'll stop. Can't see a thing, guys. I'll have to clean these old glasses, sorry. Using filthy old J cloth, doesn't matter, does it? Let's give them a quick rub on my shirt. What are you all doing at the weekend, guys? Anything interesting? My friend's coming over tonight. We're going to watch Manifest. I found all 4 series of Manifest, and we're going to be watching those. And right, that's better. What do you reckon? I don't know about whether it instantly age rewinds the skin. I'm getting that silly grin again, aren't I, that I always get every time I fall in love with a new beauty product. Wow. Okay, yep. I'm changing my mind about this one quite rapidly. So I'll go and take another photo on a close-up of this side as well, and one with me standing a little bit back so you can compare and contrast. And I'll go and give my glasses a thorough clean as well. So I'll probably be about 20 minutes, but it'll be a split second to you. The magic of YouTube and all of that, guys. See you in a minute. Right, beautiful ones. Here's another photo. This one's me looking straight out of the window into natural daylight. And I'll put an arrow or something to indicate which side is the side I've applied with the brush. And it just looks phenomenal. And I've just checked it in daylight and in my bathroom, which is the most unforgiving, harshest light in the building, and that it just looked gorgeous. The other side, the side we applied straight with the applicator, looked hideous, really flat and horrible. However, using the brush and applying it on the back of your hand, here's a close-up, sorry. I guess it does involve a little bit of effort, doesn't it? But do you know what I mean? To get the best out of something, sometimes you need to work a little bit harder than using it as it's intended. Hope that makes sense. Right, guys, so what I'll do now is, sorry, I should have turned that off, is I'll just apply some, see if it covers those on my neck, shall I? So again, I'll go in straight with the applicator this time. Trouble is if you're visually impaired like I am, sometimes you can't see how much you're getting up. Okay, that should do. And again, just leave it for about 30 seconds, so it's just coming up to 5 seconds. Again, 25 seconds time, I'll just waffle until that's elapsed, if that's okay. So beautiful ones, that's been 30 seconds. Let's blend him in. So, wow. Again, making me look lily white and like does it stand out like a Belisha beacon, or is it blended in? I can't really put my glasses on. These are spick and span and just freshly washed. It's certainly matched. It hasn't really exactly matched my neck colour, has it? Mind you, it's a concealer. Why I wouldn't apply it to my entire neck, would I? That would just be silly. But just blend the edges. Okay, yep. Liking this stuff. What I'll do now is just, I'll go and rinse this layer off from my face, and then we'll try using a soaked concealer brush, shall we, to see if that changes things a little bit. Who knows, it might do, it might not. It might make me look even more hideous than I already do. So again, gorgeous ones. Oh, that's looking a bit mucky already, isn't it? My worst nightmare. Let's twist him up, and it comes out that side. It doesn't come out all over the sponge, which is odd. Doesn't matter really, does it? So let's get a good layer of him on there. Put him over there. Get your bowl with your, and that's got a bit of black on it because I dyed my beard yesterday, and it's the bowl starts to look a little bit mucky. Doesn't matter though, does it? And so that is now sopping wet. Can you see that? There's a drip. Yeah, you can see that sopping wet, can't you guys? And all I'll do is I'll just go in there and mix that one up with the concealer. And because this is a silicone-based concealer, it's repelling the water. But I mean, just work it in until it's mixed up, and then we should have a nice ultra natural finish on the skin. So I'll apply it onto this side, you know, the side I applied it just straight out of the applicator first. Let's see if I can cover my glass mark, shall we? And again, I'll do the other side too. Love doing this sort of thing. My preferred way to spend a Saturday morning, slapping makeup all over these 50-year-old chopses of mine. Pop him over there, guys. If you hear any bangs and crashes and wallops, it's just me being clumsy again. Do you know what I mean? So let's just leave that for about 30 seconds, shall we? And again, I'll waffle. Just need to clean the back of that hand. So get him off there. So, can you see? Gorgeous, isn't it? Fabulous stuff. Right, because I don't want the water to evaporate totally, I ought to go in really now and just blend with my ring finger. Just tap, isn't it? And yeah, and I was saying earlier about the people's use of concealer is just getting really, really silly at the minute. People just seem to just think concealer is a must, but I only use concealer where and when necessary. I'm not a big fan of, you know, these great big V's of concealer under the eyes, or people using concealer as highlighter. There are separate, wow, there are products for that, basically, before I got stunned by the fact that my eyes now look stunning. What do you reckon? It's just awesome, isn't it? Considering how much I hated it. I was determined to hate this stuff to start off with, wasn't I? A little bit obvious, perhaps, or a little bit, I mean, I did put quite a bit on there, though, didn't I? But using the soaked brush now, we've got an even more natural, okay. And then what's happened is because the water's changed the nature of the concealer, and the silicone's in the concealer, what's happened is it's changed the feel of it, so it doesn't feel, in fact, that feels bone dry now. Absolutely bone dry. That's amazing, isn't it? That's touch dried, and before it was really sticky and tacky and a little bit greasy, wasn't it? Wow. I'll go and take a final photo of this lot now, and then we'll look at the website, and then we'll close. Is that okay? Let's do that. Right, beautiful ones. So what I've done is I've turned my studio light off, because obviously bright lights can change the way makeup looks on the skin. And this is, I'm just sat in natural daylight now. Can you see how fabulous this stuff is? It's absolutely stunning. Using the soaked brush technique, it's just made it really, really, really natural, although it has covered my dark circles, hasn't it? Well, not that I had many in the first place, but can you see how it's airbrushed? My skin, it's just amazing. Right, I'll put the lights back on, and then we'll look at the website, shall we? My bad, guys. Photos right there. This one's me looking straight out of the window into natural daylight. And it is amazing, this stuff. Using a soap brush, of course, but here's a close-up of my left-hand side, my left-hand eye, in other words. And here's one of my right eye, so it's just amazing. And this reminds me a lot of the Clinique airbrush concealer, using a soaked brush method. Straight out of the pot, it just looked way, way, way too obvious, too thick, too cakey, too mask-like. However, incorporating water into the equation, or the equation, as I sometimes call it, sorry, being naughty. Right, should we look at the website? Oh, again, I'll copy and paste, so I'll take screenshots and I'll put them here. And this says about, this is called the Eraser Eraser Anti-Age Eye. And how many shades are there? Let's have a look. I'll probably tell us in a minute, won't it? Instant Age Rewind, Eraser Treatment Makeup. The super concentrated formula with goji berry hydrates the skin, so that's why it felt so greasy and tacky and heavy on my face, while the exclusive applicator covers, fills and smooths to reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. Yeah, I'll go along with all of that. Benefits. 7 years of research and 3 patents combine this anti-aging treatment makeup. Wow. So it's patented. That's pretty impressive, actually. The micro-correcting foundation features goji berry, collagen, and an exclusive applicator. I'll talk to you about collagen in a minute. useless. Easily apply the foundation. Is it foundation? I thought it was a concealer. Doesn't matter, does it? To cover dark circles, fine lines, and age spots. Collagen, any collagen which is basically in a formulation to put on your skin will not work, guys. It's like trying to force a breeze block through a keyhole. The molecules are way, way, way too big. You've got to try and stimulate collagen naturally, or to try and stimulate the collagen naturally via external agents like vitamin C, peptides, and retinols and stuff, and so on and so forth. So, and then we'll go on to how to apply. Twist in the direction of arrows until the foundation is visible on the sponge. Okay, well, that took a bit of work, didn't it, from me? Again, I didn't know what I was doing, but it may take some turns on the first use. It did, but hey-ho. Step 2, using the applicator, apply foundation directly to the face, blending in an outward motion. Why are they calling it foundation? Have I got the right product here? Hang on. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Yep, that's exactly, okay, doesn't matter, does it? Right. Step 3, the applicator is protected by an antimicrobial system. Again, that microban stuff, which was all the rage in the 1980s. Tupperware had it as well, I believe, or something like that. To clean, wipe off excess with a dry tissue only. Do not wet. Okay. And ingredients, let's have a quick look. Octinosinate. Oh, it's got loads of silicones in it, so that's why we could incorporate water into it and get this fabulous, wonderful look. So beautiful ones. My final thoughts on the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser Multi-Use Concealer is that it does take some work. Of course it does. It took some work to get the security seal off. It took some work to get the foundation, the concealer out of the applicator. Straight out of the pot, I didn't like it at all. In fact, I was going to determine to hate this stuff and fail it. However, once using the concealer brush on this side of my face, started to get that to where I wanted to be, which is basically an ultra sort of flawless, natural sort of look. And then we incorporated water into the equation, which just transformed the whole thing, made me look amazing. I just love this stuff now. Again, it does take a bit of work, however. I'll just mark the pot out of 10. I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10, guys. I didn't like the, I don't like the fact it gets really, really mucky really quickly either. It's poorly designed, so I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. Out of the formulation itself, again, a little bit thick, a little bit claggy. It took some work, didn't it? So I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10, possibly an 8, I don't really know. But price, $8.99 for this, 10 out of 10, possibly even a 15 out of 10. Am I going to pass this? Yes, I certainly am. So the Maybelline Anti-Age Eraser comes House of Joseph endorsed. Just going to turn my fan off, guys. I'm getting a bit chilly. Sorry. Yeah, so in today's tutorial or review, blind review, we found that this one, straight out of the pot or tube, I guess you could call it. It looks really cakey, claggy, thick, and so on. I don't want to repeat myself too much. However, we made it work for us, didn't we? Soaking our brush. Again, takes a bit of work. However, I passed it in the end, didn't I? Because why not? If you enjoyed today's review, please don't forget to give us one thumbs up. Similarly, why did I do that? Just one finger, please. We're not shooting anyone here. Idiot. Similarly, do consider subscribing so you're kept abreast every time I release new videos. And all that remains is for me to wish you beautiful ones the most gorgeous Saturday. Go out there and enjoy the sun. If it's sunny for you today, it's now clouded over in England. Typical, we get like 5 minutes of sun and then the rest of the day is really miserable. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. Lots of love. So I guess I need to explain what a blind review is to you, the newcomers to this channel. Yeah, fucked up, didn't I?